Never done this before, so this is going to be interesting. I'm at work right now, but because I need constant stimuli to keep myself from going insane, I've been listening to YouTube videos all day while working. But my earbuds just completely died, so now I have nothing to occupy my buzzing brain. So we're just going to talk about things, I guess. I don't know. Stream of conscience type stuff. Come there. I stumbled upon, I don't know, the drama, if you will, the Dream SMP drama shit. A few days ago, while I was in Costa Rica, my online sister Autumn was like, hey, have you heard the Tommy and Dream stuff? And I'm like, what? She's like, I told you about this, but you know, my memory's terrible, so I didn't remember. And she sent me the tweet that Dream sent about Tommy Innit, or his fan base, and I was like, that's crazy. And so of course, instead of listening to music, I've been keeping up on all of the responses and reactions to it. First from Tommy, then from Tubbo. I finished Tubbo's today. And then of course Dream's video. I watched that this afternoon. And then Ludwig, his video popped up. So I was like, okay, why not? And I was just thinking about it. Somebody came up to me and they were like, hey, what do you think about the Dream and Tommy beef? It was me. I came up to myself and I asked myself, because I was like, man, Tommy's video was really convincing, but then Dream's video was also really convincing. So I was kind of like, what the hell do I think about it? So this is me thinking about it, I guess. Where do we even start? I don't think Dream is a pedophile. I don't know. I watched his video. Seems pretty decent. Covering himself up there. Or not covering himself up, but, you know, debunking everything. So I really don't think he's a pedophile or a groomer. I do know some people who are autistic who just don't really understand that you can't really talk about certain things with certain people. So honestly, I think that's just what it is. He just doesn't really get that certain topics are wrong, not okay to talk about. What am I doing over here? Sit in aisle 3. So I don't think he's a pedophile. I think that certainly knocked him down a few points in the online community to have those allegations thrown around. I just think he's not really good at being chronically online. I think he needs to take a break from all that. He just lashes out at people. And is generally not a very pleasant online presence when it comes to drama and beef and things he disagrees with. The problem is that he's also not even a little, I think he's very two-faced a lot of times, because I've seen in his response video to Tommy Innit, he was talking about how the guy was great and how he loved him and how he was like, you know, didn't do all the things that Tommy said he was doing. But then of course you look at the tweet he posted and it's like, wow, just called an entire fan base of 15 million people the R word. Not a great look there, buddy. So I think he's very insincere and he doesn't always tell the truth, which is a big issue for him when it comes to like proving his point. Because when you're a liar, it kind of becomes very difficult for people to believe you when you tell the truth. So I don't know. I don't like Dream that much, simply because he's kind of mean and doesn't really think about the things he says all the time. And in his video addressing the stuff, he pulled up clips from Tubbo's stream, where Tubbo, who by the way agrees with Tommy and is fully on Tommy's side, was saying a few things about the Brighton crew that like Tubbo doesn't fully agree with. And Dream used Tubbo's brief little snippets as like, hey, thanks Tubbo, you're on my side. Trying to like spin that weirdly. I don't know. It's really strange. And it's like he's trying to present to people that Tubbo's on his side, which also feels insincere to me because Tubbo is very much not on Dream's side in that scenario. So I don't know. I think that's the problem with Dream. I did see a comment on Dream's video about the whole thing being public and how this should all be settled behind the scenes. And honestly, I agree with that. I think that as much as it is, I don't know, guiltily entertaining, for lack of a better word, guilty pleasure to be entertained by the online drama, we don't need to see it. I think a lot of that can be done behind the scenes. All of it, really, can be done behind the scenes. Because, like, they're all adults now. I don't feel like there's much of a point doing it publicly. I think Tommy is definitely the more mature one in this scenario. I think he's a lot better at saying his thoughts, and I believe most of what he says, if not all, because I've never seen him to be an insincere person. He did used to praise Dream a lot, so the sudden switch does seem, I don't know, a little odd to me, but then again, he was a kid. Sometimes it's like, you can't even tell when somebody's like being bad to you. One of my exes, I thought he was great. Did not turn out to be great in the end. But I didn't even realize it until way later. I was like, oh shoot, there's some bad stuff in there. So I don't know. As a kid, I feel like when somebody's doing bad things to you, it's hard to tell if they're so respectable and great on the outside. Like to everybody else, they're like, wow, this guy's amazing. You're like, yeah, they're amazing. So I think when it comes to Tommy's sudden, not so sudden switch up, I think it just has to do with growing up. I think him being an adult now, he realizes like, oh, all the stuff Dream did wasn't that great. So I think that's where that's at. And Dream pointed that out, that Tommy is, I don't know, flip-floppy and doing it for money, which is also kind of stupid considering Tubbo mentioned they're all multimillionaires. They don't need more money. So I don't know. I do think Tommy is more mature than Dream in this scenario. And Dream being historically ingenuine is, I don't know, makes it hard to trust him with his response. It's very easy to not show the full picture, and just to call the other side a liar. It's like, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, you lied. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to a trustworthy person and an untrustworthy person, the untrustworthy person calling the trustworthy person a liar is a bit difficult to follow, a bit difficult to believe, even with some proof. I don't know. And then the Ludwig reaction, he mentioned that Dream called one of his friends a whore or something, and Dream sent this huge response to it in DMs, and it was like the wrong person or something, which shows that he's called multiple people a whore before and gotten flack for it, which is why Ludwig stopped talking to him. I don't know. Dream feels like the type of guy who cares way too much about how people see him, but then doesn't really, he's got kind of two sides. He's got the angry, lashing out side, where he just says whatever the hell he wants to, and then when he gets flack for it, when he gets all of this backlash for it, then he turns around and he's like, oh shoot, gotta save my image. And he's not really sorry about what he said. He's just sorry people got offended by it. Like, if nobody had really gone after him about the meme, I feel like he would have not thought anything about it. And I still think he thinks he's right a lot of the time, and that he thinks he's not doing wrong, and that people's hate is just their own internal biases. What he doesn't really realize is that people's biases come from him being not a great person. So I don't know. I feel like I don't want to pick sides necessarily. I don't like Dream that much. And I respect Tommy for not taking shit anymore like he used to. So I don't know. I guess I'm on Tommy's side, quote unquote. But I guess that's about it. So yep. I lied. I'm back. Just had to lift a super freaking heavy board. 6x6 16. That sucked. Anyway, I have more thoughts because I don't know. I kept thinking about it. I think Dream's problem too is that he can't really grasp the fact that people change, like the tides in the ocean, if you will. I used to love the Dream SMP. I still do love the SMP itself. But one of my first cosplays was Dream. And now I can confidently say, like, yeah, I don't like the guy. It's not that I never liked him. I used to like Dream a lot. He was one of my favorite creators. He's like the reason that my brother's YouTube channel got big. We have a friggin' video with 5.7 million views because of Dream. It's like, yeah, the guy used to be great. But now I can change my opinion, as opinions oft do, because I understand more about him, and I've seen the things he does, and I don't really vibe with it. So I don't know. I think when it comes to Tommy now having different opinions on Dream, he's trying to like pull up past texts where Tommy was super nice to him and like really his friend, and use those as evidence for like Tommy doing this for money, or Tommy faking it, or Tommy not really being a genuine person. But like, people can change pretty drastically over time. So I don't know. That's where I think Dream's, some of his evidence that he used is not good. Yeah, I pulled it out part way and I'm gonna get it the rest of it with the fork. So I'm not carrying that giant board all the way up front, dear God. That thing would kill me. I've already got scoliosis, that would kill my spine the rest of the way. Just got my forklift stuck in the snow. So I put some salt on it and we're gonna let it sit for a minute. Where was I? Where were my thoughts? Shoot. What did I say last? Hold on. Okay, yeah. I was talking about people changing. Yeah, I think Tommy has just changed his opinion. I don't think Tommy has always thought Dream is a bad person. Like, I don't think all the way back in 2021 and 2022, he was like, yeah, Dream is terrible, but I'm just gonna, say he's a great person. Like, I don't think, like, there's no point to that. I do think Tommy could afford to mention the past more, because in a lot of the recent videos, it's been just, not dissing, but like just talking negatively about Dream, where he's like, even the YouTube advice he gave me, he held it over my head. And it's like, yeah, maybe he did do that, but I feel like it's still important to mention that he did call you like once a week for several hours at a time to give you advice. So I don't think Dream is a fully terrible person. I don't think he's just doing this for, nefarious purposes. I don't think he's a proper movie villain, like Tommy said. I don't think he's a great person. I think this could all be done behind the scenes. And I respect Tommy. But of course, it's online drama. People's emotions get involved. People's biases get involved. I don't know, I said earlier, I'm like, I don't really want to take sides. Yeah, I do. I'm on Tommy's side. I changed my mind. That's crazy. So yeah. I do think some of what Dream has said has merit. I do think some of what Dream has said is true. But he does spin the truth so much that some of those points he makes are like, I just don't believe them. I do think there were more texts between him and Tommy's mom than just the one. Because otherwise I don't think Tommy would call it harassment. I haven't read the full text because I didn't pause the video because I don't care enough. I say as I'm making a whole thoughts video on it. Listen, I'm bored, okay? I'm bored. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's actually about it, unless I get in the car and I think about more, because it's like 5 p.m. and I need to clock out after I get this forklift unstuck. So yeah, by part 2, hopefully, unless I think about more. I might do more of these because my earbuds die fairly often because I forget to charge them fairly often. And this was kind of fun because like I didn't really interrupt my working. I'm still, you know, actively doing work. Not right now because it's stuck and I'm waiting for the ice to melt. But yeah, I think this was kind of fun. I like talking and I don't do it enough because other people also like talking and I like listening more than I like talking. So I just listen to people usually. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Bye for real? ?